What's up, you glorious bastards? King Cobra JFS. Back at it with another video. So I managed to save half the bottle from last night instead of drinking a whole bottle in one sitting. Yeah, let's grab ourselves a drink combo. Because this video is going to be for the dudes. Disclaimer, I do not hate anyone based off their gender. I hate the way the genders treat each other. Like, women who bitch that men are fucking pigs and assholes when you act just as shallow as they do. And you can't call out the hypocrisy because you get labeled a sexist or an incel. And it's like, by that logic, you would think, oh, well, then what does that make you for hating me? A cunt of himself? Yeah, no. And I love pissing off themselves more than I love pissing off my trolls. Because it's too fucking easy. On a side note, I found out that Senator Joe Biden has prostate cancer, and, well, I hope he beats it because he's got family that cares about him and friends that care about him, you know. But, like, the Democrats, the radical left, want you to feel sorry for Joe Biden. And at the same time, when Trump got shot in the ear, they were celebrating it. So it's like, who really is the bigger hypocrite asshole here? I don't know. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. I'm independent. I choose to think for myself. But this one's going to tell the fellas a couple of key things you need to know. And the first thing I'm going to do is tell you that men are the prize because we are the providers. If women think that they're the prize, no. Anything that they can offer you, anyone can offer a man. You're the prize because you got a vagina and tits. I'm like, well, women are more than just that, so what makes you special? Because the first thing you're going to hear women complain about is that women are overly sexualized in our society, which I think is total horseshit, but at the same time, women don't have a problem weaponizing it to their advantage. Women will weaponize sex when it's convenient for them and complain when they're overly sexualized, or when men act entitled to pussy. And half of that is men's fault, yes, the other half is your fault. Alright, so first of all, when you understand how women think, and you quit doing this shit to get sex or get laid, you become a dangerous man on the dating scene. And you have confidence in yourself, jackpot. The first thing you're going to have to understand is, how do women argue? They have four nuclear options that women will use when they know they are wrong or losing the argument and they know it works. Excuse me. Option number one, if they're losing the arguments, they will use their emotions. You'll hear things like, stop yelling at me, you're being unfair, why are you being so mean? And when that doesn't work, they go to rogue level 2. They start using the whole, well, if you don't listen to me, I'm going to cut off the sex. When she starts doing that, just look at her and laugh. And go, well, I can masturbate, so... The woman tries to cut the sex off, and it's not going to bother me in the slightest because I went 6 years without it, and everyone gave me shit about it. Why is it that if a woman is involuntarily celibate or chooses to be celibate, no one calls her a man-hating femcel or a lesbian, but the second a man goes without sex, he's a fag, he's a loser, he's an incel, but dude tries to get laid, he's a creep, he's a loser, he's a simp. Fuck out of here. And level 2 doesn't work, she goes to level 3, which means, what? Bringing up shit that she was pissed off about that she didn't tell you about. You're like, babe, what's the matter? She said, I'm fine. You're like, obviously you're not fine, you look very pissed off, what's the matter? Talk to me. No, I don't want to talk about it. It's like, oh, okay then. Or she'll give you the silent treatment and then complain that we have communication issues. Right. Well, the issue here is you because no communication gets done. You're giving your man the silent treatment, and then bitching because we have communication problems. Wham. And if that doesn't work, the last Hail Mary attempt to get you so fucking mad, you smack her or call her a cunt and you lose your shit. Don't do it. Okay, whatever, for the love of Satan, do not fucking lose your shit because women want that. They want you to lose your shit so they can play the victim and make you the typical male kind of thing. What's level 4? Insulting your masculinity, you know, saying shit that you're insecure about. Well, you have a small penis. I didn't hear you complaining last time when we were doing it. You slut. And you have two options to win the argument against women. One, you can throw it back in their face and make them so fucking mad they hit you. And then you look at them and go, well, we'll discuss this when you're a lot calmer. And when you're ready to give me an apology blowjob, we can talk about this. Sure, she might not hook up with you for a couple days, but fuck it. So masturbation is king, to quote, and you guy's fucking clay. Or what you can do is use a sense of humor and your smart mouth and your logic and your simple male brain, the basic facts to win the argument. We don't really pull this crap when they know they're wrong and they're losing the argument. It's dirty, it's manipulative, and it works. You need to be sitting there for 9 millionth time washing dishes, sleeping on the couch, going, what the fuck happened? I had this argument in the pocket, I was going to win, what happened? Women are emotional creatures of habit, their brains are constantly ADHD to the max. Men were simple creatures of habit. And for some ungodly fucking reason, there are some women who can't stand to see their man happy. If you're sitting there playing video games, you know, or working on the car in the garage, minding his own fucking business, let him be happy. Jesus fucking Christ. If my wife or girlfriend had a book reading club, and it made her happy to hang out with her friends, sip wine, you know, I show up to the party real quick with some wine and a silver platter full of like pinwheel sandwiches, and a charcuterie board, you know, and then fuck off and leave. And I'm like, well, you have your thing, I have my thing. So ladies, if you want to have a sense of stability in your life, get some hobbies, and get some female friends that aren't complete cunts behind your back. I couldn't say that with a straight face. Yeah, when we're capable of being friends, I believe it. You know, kind of like Jessica Boyle's texting me going, please, I want to have a conversation about you hating me. Oh, yeah. And it's like, well, Jessica Boyle is capable of having an adult conversation. I believe it. No. And speaking of my psycho stalker ex, segue, fellas, I don't care how hot she is. I don't care how good the sex is. No amount of good sex is worth your dignity. And if women don't appreciate what you have, they just friend zone you and go, well, I don't see you like that. That is such a double standard. Why, you ask? Because if women, on the other hand, if it's gender reversed, well, he's a piece of shit because he won't give her a chance. Where? It's like, no, just like men, you hate being told no. That one's song getting ladies. Oh, goddamn, that's me. Where? The only difference is, rape does not exist for men. Because apparently, you know, according to our sexist society that hates men, all men want is sex, all men are rapists, all men are killers, blah, 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 blah. Fuck you, suck my dick, you want to fuck the patriarchy? Pull my dick out and go to town, see what happens. Let me play your big old titties. And let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to turn into a country fried chicken steak because I'm going to cover you with gravy. Yeah. Which brings me to my next point. I'm going to grab my drink after putting out my lolly. If you're dealing with a psycho crazy stalker ex, block, delete, and ignore her. What's really going to hurt Jessica Boyle is she's going to get no closure over the breakup and she did it to herself. So recognizing she's got mental problems and that maybe not every guy she dates is a piece of shit, man. Maybe it's her. You know, kind of like these women in their 20s and they think, I can tame him. The so-called bad boy. Get the fuck out of here. He's not a bad boy, honey. He treats you badly. There's a difference. And when you try to change him, it doesn't work. And he breaks up with you after getting a couple of squirts and past the goalie if you catch my drift. You're like, all he did was use me for sex. And he's an asshole. All men are the same. No way. Sound familiar? I bet it does. And it's like, ladies, do you want to date a man who's constantly trying to change you, or do you want a man just to accept you for who you are? Like, oh yeah, I think your personality, I think you're cute, but your tits can be bigger. Oh, you never hear the end of it. Women are so fucking insecure about their boob size. And to a degree, I get that because men are insecure about their dick size. Thank you. And there's too much pressure to date and have sex and sleep around, and it goes for both sides. So stop valuing your self-worth because you're dating someone, because dating is a social perk. You know what I'm saying? But when you treat it like it's breathing or eating food, which is a basic human right, you know, we call that entitlement. And let me ask you this, because you'll encounter those women who get so fucking mad because the guy they want rejects them. Why? Because I'm too fat or my ass and tits not big enough? You're a pig, man. But if a 45-year-old dude walks up to a bunch of hot college chicks and he's 500 pounds overweight and he's got hair on his beer gut and he's sitting there with his beady little eyes, licking his lips like a hungry animal, picking Cheetos crumbs out of his belly button, walking up to these chicks like, oh yeah, if you girls are Twinkies, I'd eat you out. You want to come down to my mom's basement and play duck hunt? I got Nintendo 64, we can eat up pizza rolls. Every chick within a 5-mile radius is going, ugh. Well, what's the matter? I thought it was body positivity. He could be a really sweet guy, you should give him a chance. No. If he's giving off major Ted Bundy vibes, chicks are not having it. Even though simply because women are just as shallow as men, they don't want women. Oh. If that guy gets told he's too fat for your taste, you can't call body shaming because they'll immediately turn around. You call it the hypocrisy of it. They will turn around and throw it back in your face. Well, you're just mad that you got told no. If you want to ride that pussy, you better lose some weight, fat ass. Oh, ouchie. And what kills me about that movement is I don't give a fuck if you're fat, dude. I don't judge people based off their gender or their weight. I judge them based off of their character. The body positivity movement only exists for women because women are overly sexualized. And women think they're the only ones who are told you have to look a certain way to be considered hot. Bullshit! Men go through it too, but men, we're told to suck it up and deal with it. And if you want to lose weight, then lose it. Women, you're told, it's okay, honey, you're healthy at any size. Yeah, because Eugenia Cooney is totally healthy. And I'm not going to judge you for it because, you know, regrettably, food is delicious. Now, the next piece of advice I'm going to give you is stop simping. This goes for both genders, suckers / sluts, idolizing mediocre penis / pussy. I don't care how hot the dude is, I don't care how banging the chick is, I don't care how nice your titties are, I don't care how nice his dick is. No amount of sacrificing your self-respect and your literal sanity and happiness is worth a good piece of ass. You know, like if you're high maintenance and you're extremely bipolar, and you try to change every guy you date, and then you get pissed off and wonder why you can't find a good guy in your town. Well, figure it out, genius. If you're smart enough to figure it out, that maybe it's not just the guys you're dating, maybe it's you. If you spend your entire 20s and 30s chasing after guys that treat you like shit, and then trying to change them because, you know, vagina logic, I can fix him, I can change him. No, you can't. No, you can't. You can try, but he might say, oh yeah, I'll change for you, sure. That's because he's just trying to get down your pants. Which brings me to my next point, ladies. Would you give your dog a dog treat if they pooped on your carpet, and then you kept getting mad because they kept doing it? No, because that is literally Albert Einstein's definition of insanity. That being said, stop rewarding asshole men with good pussy, and see what happens. That should make them work for it, because, you know, what I'm saying? If you're rewarding asshole men with good pussy, then you're conditioning them to treat women like crap, because they go, well, do women like being treated like crap, Ryan? Why wouldn't you be so black and white with Stewie? And watch what happens. If he's only in for the pussy and you're making him work for it, and you know, so if he wants it bad enough, he'll do what you want. Which brings me to my next point. Do not let women take control of you because they're offering you some pussy. It's not worth it, man. I mean, within reason. Like, if she wants you to whine her, dine her, take her out, and treat her like a goddess, and a queen, and a princess, and treat her with respect, regardless if you're getting ass or not. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty standard. I mean, I'm not gonna give dick to a chick if you feel like crap. Which brings me to my next point, ladies. You will not sleep with a man if he hates women and blames dating and women for all of his shitty relationships. But when you do it, and he won't date you, it's because all men are the same, right? Fuck you. Because men do this crap, it's immediately called out. You're an incel, man. But women do it, and you call them a man hating femcel cunt. That's sexist of you, right? So it's okay for you to do it, but not okay for me to do it. Got it. Loud and clear. But what else do you expect when you're straight, white, cisgendered male, such as myself? Although I prefer the term biologically gendered, because the word sissy, spelled C-I-S-S-Y, is a derogatory term that the rainbow community uses to degrade cisgendered people. But don't you dare call them faggot, because that's offensive. Right. I smell hypocrisy. It should be all about equality, not hypocrisy, but I didn't say that out loud. With women, that's especially true. For women and men both. You sit there and complain because the opposite sex does it, but when you do the exact same thing, you're no better than they are, dude. Do that. And a lot of women hate my guts. I quite frankly don't give a shit. Because you're not hot enough to ride my dick and you can't find a man, please, you and provide for you. Any woman can provide a good man pussy. It doesn't take much effort, but to be a provider beyond sex, that takes work, money, time, resources. And that's a lot harder to give out and get than it is to give out and get sex, you know what I'm saying? And like, just because you give out sex doesn't mean your girlfriend or wife material. Because women should be more than that, thank you very much. See what I did there? Like, right, you weaponize sex when it's convenient and it fits your narrative, but the second men are pigs about it, you're like, oh, man! I'm like, well, to be fair, women shouldn't weaponize sex to get what they want, and men should stop being pigs about it. And I think that's a fair argument for both sides. You know, if a man weaponized his providing to get more sex out of you, and if you didn't give it to him, he stopped providing, you'd be pissed off, and then you'd be like, huh, you only provide for me when I give you sex. That would be the argument, you never hear the end of it. But like, women are expected to give out sex, and then men are expected to provide. And if they can't provide or give out sex, they get told they're not a real man, or you're a little cock tease. The second they do try to provide, they get called a simp, and the second they do give it out, you get called a slut. And I'm like, well, how the fuck is that fair? You're gonna shame me if I can't provide, and then you're gonna shame her because she can't give out, and as soon as she does give it out, or I give it out, whatever. It's a problem. It's kind of like, you know, when women complain that chivalry is dead, but the second you try to hold the door for them, it's benign sexism. Get the fuck out of here. And women are complaining because they can't find a good man in their life. Well, you can fake modern day feminism for that. Well, sue me. Old school feminism was about women having equality to men. Now that women have that to a point, they're bored. So they're like, what do we do now? I know, let's take feminism and make it all about hating our fellow women, hating ourselves, hating men, blaming men for everything, while expecting everyone, i.e. men, and the patriarchy to pay for everything, while screaming fuck the patriarchy because we're oppressed. Wham. Because how is it sexism towards women to expect men to provide everything for her? All she has to do, keep his belly full, keep his ball sack empty, keep the house clean, and help take care of the demon spawn. He does everything else. And you wonder why men make more money than women? It's not because of sexism, honey. It's because, for one, men do not need to take time off of work because they're pregnant or on their period. Suck it. And two, because men are expected to pay for everything. In the likelihood of divorce court, who do you think is getting screwed for child support payments? Certainly not the woman, no. She'll bitch and complain that the minimum wage gap is sexist, but then the second, your ass gets raped in court, and you're paying support payments and giving her the house, the car, the keys, everything you worked your ass off to provide for her, just so she can laugh screw you for it, and not in a good way either. All of a sudden, it's like, wait a minute. Now that same dude you complained about making more money than you is now paying all of his money to you for the next 18 years of his miserable goddamn life. You don't hear a single peep out of her about how sexist it is, do you? Of course not. Because it conveniently doesn't fit the narrative. You know, like, oh, a man being treated like shit and losing his rights? Well, that just doesn't compute. Why? Because not having to a woman kiss my ass. You know, kind of like if George Floyd would have been white and the cop would have been black, nobody would have said shit. This is why I'm like, fuck police brutality. I don't care who it happens to. All it does is make cops look bad and ruin innocent lives. But you want to make it about black versus white, and then get pissed off because racism, where? So like, well, to quote Morgan Freeman, if you want to end racism, stop making it about race. Oh, that one stung, didn't it? You want to end sexism? Stop making it about gender. Of course, what is gender anymore? Because in today's modern, woke up, liberal society, you can't even define what gender is, and gender only exists when it's convenient for your narrative. But we're all supposed to respect your gender pronouns. Kiss my ass. You don't respect my gender pronouns, so why should I respect yours? And if gender is only a social concept, then I'm going to call bullshit on your pronouns. If gender, and that's just it. Like with feminism, especially modern day feminism, Schroeder's feminism, you're a victim when it's convenient, and you're empowered when it's convenient. And it's the same thing for gender when it comes to that community. The Troon community, the Troons community. Looney Troon. That's bullshit, folks. Which brings me to my next argument. If you make everyone else feel unsafe in their safe spaces, they're told to just get over it and respect your privilege and your rights. But when you make them feel uncomfortable in their safe space, you're transphobic. Kiss my ass with the hypocrisy. Trans people want us to respect their safe spaces and their pronouns. Well, if you don't respect ours, why should we respect yours? I mean, respect is a two-way street, and you gotta treat those the way you want to be treated. It's like, oh look, there's a dick and balls in the female locker room, but they have boobs now, so technically they're female. Bullshit, because women don't have dicks and balls unless they're being fucking every hole. If it makes these cisgendered women, these sissy women feel uncomfortable, they're told to just deal with it. It's like, well, you don't want to make them change the men's locker room because they got a pair of dick and balls. They might get harassed and teased for it, or worse, raped. So, yeah, you call that one's like that, but when men take advantage of this crap, there was a small minority of men who take advantage of the culture we live in, and they pull some nasty shit like that. Case in point, the asshole in Scotland who raped like 4 women showed up to court dressed in drag and demanded to be thrown into a female prison. And regardless if they're trans or not, like they claimed, you're pre-op, basically, so that means you still have your dick and balls, which technically still makes you a man. You know, but no fucking real man bullshit like that. Thank you very much. That's fuck rape, fuck that goes. One would think, okay, if you're a dude, you got dick and balls, and you rape a bunch of women, you do not belong in a female prison. That's not how the justice system works. It's so unfair for women, and all it does is make trans people look bad and piss everyone else off at the injustice of it. But did the judge think about it like that? Like, you know, maybe trans people don't need any more negative representations. And there's a good chance this guy's probably full of shit. Sure enough, he lasted 1 week in a female prison before repeating his offense. Shocker, I want to sniff it. And when J.K. Rowling tried speaking out on this issue, because it's a woman's rights issue, everyone immediately called her transphobic. And I'm just like, yeah, but if you identify as a woman, then you're a woman, correct? Therefore, it's a woman's issue, regardless if you're trans or not. Instead of looking at it like that, everyone was so quick to jump the gun and call J.K. Rowling transphobic. And I'm like, look, if you can't define what a fucking woman is, but you want to get pissed off at J.K. Rowling for standing up for women's rights, you're the problem. Because no one's going to take this movement seriously if you don't respect our pronouns or our safe spaces. And you can't even define what gender is, but you expect us to respect your gender pronouns. Oh, but that's right, isn't it, folks? Genitalia doesn't define gender according to the Troons. If that's the case, then why do you get fake tits and mutilate your dick and balls? I'm just asking for a friend. It doesn't personally bother me none. Do what you want. As long as you're a goddamn sicko, I don't give a shit. Like, oh, gender doesn't exist, but you have to respect my gender pronouns. And I'm not being a dick. I'm just repeating the talking points that I hear from the radicalized trans movement. The same people who are like, it's all about acceptance and tolerance. And we're sick of ton of people hating them because they're trans, blah, blah, blah. But then insert Blair White, and the trans community fucking hates her. Why is that? Because Blair White's not afraid to tell it like it is? And because Blair White's more convincing as a woman than like 98% of the assholes trying to pull it off? Ouch. It's like, speaking of trans people, it's like Cobra. You could do Caitlyn Jenner or Khloe Kardashian. I'm like, I don't fuck Khloe. But she's the ugly Kardashian. I'm like, you people are shallow. Although Kylie and Kendall Jenner are pretty cute too. I can say that because I'm pretty sure they're both over age of 18. Yeah. 18 or older, sweet. Old enough to drink, old enough to sink in the pink. Winning. Ah. I heard Caitlyn Jenner went on a diet. Really? Yeah, she's trying to avoid trans fats. See what I did there? Why? Because she's trans fat phobic? What a bitch. Caitlyn Jenner bought a classic car. She did. What did she get? She got a 69 Trans Am covered in rainbows. And the trans pride flag. It was super loud and super fabulous. What's Caitlyn Jenner's favorite cartoon? Transformers, robots in disguise. Okay, enough of that. That's not funny, Cobra. Like, what's the deal with pansexuals? Are they, like, sexually attracted to pans? You watch Gordon Ramsay and beat on. Like, oh yeah, cook that souffle, you British slut. Oh my god, yes. Oh my god, my pan's so dirty, don't wash it. It's a dirty pan. A dirty pan. Asexuals, am I right? Were they sexually attracted to the alphabet? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. Oh, you couldn't even get the P before they came. Not T. They're bisexuals, am I right? Like, goddamn. My last girlfriend came out as bisexual, you know? She said bye to me and started having sex with other guys. Ridiculous. What's a gay man's favorite pizza topping? It's sausage. Okay. What's a lesbian's favorite kind of soup? Clam chowder. What do heterosexuals that are crazy wear when it gets cold out? A straight jacket. Okay, that's enough out of you, Cobra. So my solution to this, circling back, is to give trans people their own locker rooms and their own sports leagues. That way everyone has a safe space to change. Let me ask the trans community this. What if, hear me out, what if you as a trans person had your own locker room, finally, after years of oppression and battling equality, and they said, fuck it, they gave trans people their own locker room to change in. And what if some asshole lied about being trans just to be a creep and like harass you and shit? You wouldn't like it. And the second you try to call it out, everyone calls you a self-hating trans and told you to grow up and get over it. You would fucking lose your shit. You'd be like, excuse me? Because that's exactly how it is for everyone else. And I'm not saying that every asshole who identifies as trans is going to be a pervert and a creep about it. Because I acknowledge that that's a small, unfortunate percentage of this movement, and nobody wants to acknowledge it because they're afraid of being labeled transphobic. This is exactly why the radical left doesn't want to have a conversation about gender, because it challenges your normality of thinking, and because you're so afraid of what everyone else thinks, you're afraid to have your own opinion. That's gotta suck. You think that sucks? Try being trans. You have to rely on everyone else's validation to feel good about yourself? Ouch. Dave Chappelle's friend Daphne. Okay, she wanted to be a comedian. Dave Chappelle was her hero. And Dave Chappelle goes to make jokes about trans people, and then they get pissed off. It's like, what, you want to be included, and Dave Chappelle makes fun of everybody, so what's the big fucking deal? Learn to laugh at yourself, you overly sensitive cunts. Pull the rainbow dick out of your ass and fucking laugh. Learn to laugh at yourself. It makes life much more bearable. And Dave Chappelle met Daphne, and he let Daphne have her 5 minutes of fame, He let her do stand-up comedy, you know what I'm saying? And it was her first time doing it, and she bombed, right? Then she got off fucking stage, and she was laughing and drinking, laughing at all Dave Chappelle's jokes, and everyone was having a good time. Even Dave Chappelle was getting into it, you know what I'm saying? And someone in the audience shouted, "Hey, Daphne, the carpets match the drapes." And everyone went, "Oh," and you know what she said after a couple of cocktails? "Honey, I have hardwood floors." The whole room shook with laughter. And you know what she said? "I don't need you to understand me. I need you to understand I'm having a human experience. I'm experiencing life." And I'm like, yeah, 100%. You know what happened? The very same trans community that screams all about tolerance, equality, and acceptance bullied Daphne into committing suicide because she found Dave Chappelle to be funny. The very same community that's sitting there saying, we're sick and tired of everyone policing our speech and telling us how to think. Oh, and when you say it like that, that points out the very much obvious hypocrisy of this movement. That one stung a little bit, didn't it? Because I'm sick and tired of being talked down to like I'm stupid or being preached at because, woke culture. I'm like, it's not my fault individually. The problem is people. People are fucking assholes to each other, and it only gets called out when straight, white, cisgender, heterosexual men do it. Everyone else gets a free pass because you're either black, trans, or woman, or whatever. And I'm like, the fuck out of here. So, like, you'll hate on Blair White because she's more convincing than you are as a trans person, and you'll hate on Daphne because she's able to laugh at herself and not take the whole trans thing so seriously. Oh, yeah, you're a piece of work. Have fun with what you're doing. Like Andrew Dice Clay said, trans people are something else. You meet the girl of your dreams, you line her with diner, you take her home, you reach up her skirt, you're holding a fucking tree trunk. And like trans women who get bitchy because people don't want to date them because they're trans, they immediately scream transphobia. I'm like, you want to be treated just like a woman? You're acting just like one. You got told no, and now you're pissy about it. And the thing of it is that when women and trans people can get mad when they get told no, if you're cisgender and you're a male, nobody cares. All screaming it's all about equality. Kiss my Asperger's. The reason why I fight for basic human equality, I don't care if you're trans or a woman or black or whatever, is because nobody cares about my rights as far as they're concerned. The only reason I have any privilege in my life or in society in general is because I have Asperger's. If I didn't have Asperger's, nobody would care. They'd be like, well, look at that, another sissy, straight, white, heterosexual male. Fuck you. Donald Trump signed an executive order saying that there are only 2 genders, and he's absolutely right. So that's why he's on the right. You know what I'm saying? Like, biology doesn't give a fuck about your pronouns. You're trying to confuse everyone because you're confused. If gender doesn't exist, then why do we gotta respect your gender pronouns? Because gender doesn't exist and your gender pronouns are bullshit. And then, of course, they're screaming that Trump is taking away your gay rights. And I'm like, okay, just because Trump signed an executive order saying there are only 2 genders, that's not your gay rights being taken away because LGBT is more than just gay people. Thank you very much. And it's like, try being gay in the Middle East when you're ruled by Sharia law. And then tell me how oppressed you are because the orange man took away your rights. Well, yeah. Never mind the fact that Trump is the first president in history to host a gay wedding. He allowed a trans woman to compete in Miss Universe. And he sued the fuck out of a nightclub in Florida for not allowing blacks or Jewish people into their club after he bought it. And then people want to scream like he's the next Hitler. Get the fuck out of here. I'm so sick and tired. Just because you don't like something doesn't make it the next Hitler. Grow up. Like if Trump's the next Hitler, how come he doesn't have a concentration camp full of 6 million dead Jews? Go ahead, I'll wait. You don't see Donald Trump goose-stepping into his speeches like, Zeke, hail. Am I switching that? The Cobra salute. You take your hand right here, the Cobra, and you go like that. The Cobra salute. You're saluting Cobra cults, and you're mocking these neo-Nazi fucking faggots. Because the superior race is a human race. That's how I see it. It's all about power to the people. We'll drink to that. And when you let society abuse its privileges, and you let people divide us based off of gender, race, religion, sexuality, creed, rich, poor, black, white, etc., that's how they distract us, and that's how the man controls us, man. We're so distracted by our cell phones and by social media and, like, all the hatred. What really fucking pisses me off about politics, is the hatred for Donald Trump divides our country. And I'm sitting here like, well, if you got a lot of haters, you must be doing something right. Which is why when I'm around certain people in my life, I choose not to discuss politics because all it's going to do is piss me off and piss them off. So it's like, when you're around certain people, avoid certain topics. Even though you're right on the issue, 100%, it doesn't mean everybody wants to hear it. Hail to the human race, hail to our inner power. Hail to the cults. Black flame, light my green smoke. Hail King Cobra, hail Satan. The main thing Cobra cult teaches people is to believe in themselves. There's nothing wrong with creating a cult about believing in yourself. It's a very awesome message, and I think a lot of people can get down behind that. When you live in a society that's constantly talking down to you like you're stupid, woke culture, and everyone telling you have to look and act a certain way, what a quote, twisted sister, we're not going to take it. To quote Neil Young, keep on rocking the free world. To quote Skid Row, we are the youth gone wild. Rock and roll and rebellion, it's freedom, it's liberation. And you gotta think, a lot of gay people and trans people are sick and tired of all the woke bullshit too, because they just want to be accepted and loved and find themselves just like everyone else. And that's the realest human experience that anyone has. It's just the truth. We're all seeking validation and trying to find ourselves.